What's going on, fam? We hard on the yard. Got my boy Legend out. He got one of his little neighborhood friends we rescued. They're rolling around in the dirt. That's his little buddy. He's free to good home if anybody wants him. But anyway, about American Bully flaws. So I got a question about how can I fix my dog's stiff stifle, and he stands it sometimes when he's standing, he looks like he has a high rear. How can I fix it? I think that was kind of interesting, so let's talk about it. Because a lot of times you hear breeders, we talking about fixing a flaw, or flaws that you need to stay away from in breeding. Most of those times we talking about fixing a flaw, we're not talking about in that particular dog. We're talking about in the next breeding. So in other words, if your dog has a slight high rear, we're not talking about how do you fix that in that dog. That's the breeding that's already taken place. The breeding between his parents already took place, and that is the sequence and everything that came out. We can't rewrite that. It is the pedigree of the dog. So that's the reason you try to stay away from dogs with flaws. It's why you got to know what flaws are. It's why you got to be able to look at the heritage of the dogs and pick it out. Now, everybody has a dog with a flaw. You ain't gonna be able to just get in the game and go get a perfect dog. They're very few. And like I've got a lot of dogs that I stud, but you're not gonna get King Creed to stud. So with certain dogs, I'm just not even gonna let you even get access to as a breeder. So you're not gonna have a perfect dog, but like I've been saying for a long time, as long as it's 2 flaws or less, you're okay. Because you can breed that dog with a high rear to another dog that's got a good rear and good structure, period. In other words, not something else with flaws. You can do that, and somewhere in that litter, at least half of that litter, a couple of dogs in that litter are gonna be straight. And that's what we want to get as a breeder. We're not looking at, is the whole litter gonna be straight? You can't have the flawed dog and put it with another dog and think the whole litter is gonna be straight. Not the whole litter. It could be all very well structured if they both had good pedigree. And that's the next part of it. Depends on how tightly that's bred and what flaws you even have to see if you can even breed it out. So if you had if you bought from a tightly bred dog and it's got an overbite or underbite, or it's got a kink tail, it's got a high rear, it's gonna be harder to get it out in the breeding than it is for somebody that's not tightly bred. That's why when you go to a bloodline, you want to check all the dogs, look at the whole lineage, and see that things ain't prevalent. Everybody don't have these flaws. If it's prevalent like that, then it's gonna be hard to get it out. It can still be done, but not just in one generation, not in one breeding. It might take 2 breedings. But you fix the flaws in the next breeding. And out of that next litter, you'll have breed stock, pet quality, maybe a show quality. And that's how the prices go. So if you have less than 2 flaws, with that being said, if you got less than 2 flaws, you're still okay. You still have breed stock. And if you got breed stock, you just gotta pay attention to which to breed it to. So the better question for you is what to breed this to get rid of this flaw. And that takes some real looking at, because I got to look at the lineage of the other dog, lineage of your dog, see if things, was it inbred, was what happened, so I can really know how far we got to go to get this out. But most of the time, 2 flaws or less, you really won't have no problem. There's certain flaws that I just don't deal with, period, because they're prevalent flaws. So in breeding, you might not get it out, no matter who you breed it to, because it's prevalent. When something is prevalent, I mean, it's in the lineage of all the dogs. It comes from a wolf or something. And if you go back to the wolf, a lot of the wolves had small heads, long nose, and easty-westy feet, kind of a high rear. I can't say a high rear, but it definitely easty-westy feet. I ain't gonna beat them on too bad. Most wolves definitely got easty-westy feet, meaning their paws go one way, one going this way, the one other one's going the other way. Easty-westy, not straight. The paws is going like that. And most wolves have a smaller head. You don't have no big pit bull head wolves. They got small head, longer nose. So that means that's in all the dogs, because all the dogs came from there. So if you find a dog in this day and age, this far down the road, that's got a small head, you ain't gonna get that out. That's why we do not buy dogs with small heads. You cannot look at a puppy with a small head and think that it's gonna get bigger, because it's not. You can't, and you ain't gonna be able to breed it to nothing that's gonna make it bigger, because that's a trait that's in it, and it's a prevalent trait. Goes all the way back. That's why it's better to get a dog that's got a high rear than a dog that's got easty-westy, because you can breed the high rear out. It's not that big. The easty-westy go all the way back to the wolf. It's prevalent. If this has been any helpful information, man, hit that like button. It sure would help me out. And hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing to subscribe. When you subscribe, it's just going to give you all of the videos that I do. It's going to let you know they're coming, and you'll get the update. If you want any more updates, hit the notification bell next to it, and you'll get everything that I do. You'll get notified for it. That's all subscriptions mean. I'm saying this because my friend Black Superman didn't understand what subscriptions mean after I done did over 1,000 videos. So I have to tell y'all, maybe some of y'all is too old to understand what it is. But certain flaws, for me, I just don't do bite problems, overbite, underbite. I don't do it. But I'm not exotic breeding, so I don't have any need to do that. You're not gonna be able to really breed that underbite, overbite stuff out. It's gonna be in there somewhere. It's a shorter muzzle. That means it's got different breathing. So that's in there. I don't want mine to have that breathing, so that's why we don't have shorter muzzles. So we don't deal with the bite problems, overbite, underbite. That's out. We don't deal with stiff stifle. I mean, I've seen some beautiful dogs, but I just don't do the stiff stifle. It means there's no angulation in the back leg. It just goes straight down. It's like they walking on stilts on the back. I've seen some very nice dogs from the front. Immaculate. But when I see that stiff stifle, I'm turned off. So that's just one that I won't deal with. And I've already said small head. Small head is absolutely out. You can't do nothing with that. It ain't gonna be nothing for breeding. When you looking to breed, you always looking for the biggest heads. That means they've been breeding. They doing it. King tail I don't desire, but I'm not too upset about it. I had a dog, Cutie Pie. That dog is immaculate, and she is stacked, automatic stackers. All my dogs are automatic stackers, man. They don't, you ain't gotta pose them. So Cutie Pie is like that, but she had a king tail. So I don't think that's a bad thing. What she's got is definitely gonna overpower all that when I breed it to what I'm gonna breed it to. So I can kind of deal with that. High rear, like I said, I can deal with high rear, just not extremely high. If it's just ugly, I don't even want to look at you every day. So if your parents has got high rear, I'm not buying it. Because I don't want to look at that every day. Slight high rear, I can deal with it if the rest of the thing is immaculate and it's got good temperament and all that. Now, can you cause flaws? Sometimes you can cause them. I think. It's my take. So, like, all of my dog bowls are raised to chest level because I keep the posture straight. I keep it while they're eating. The back is straight. The paws is going forward. The neck is elongated, and it helps to strengthen the posture. The same thing that your teacher told you about slouching in your seat. When they're eating, I got them postured straight. And I think that stops easty-westy from being made. You making your dog have easty-westy and bad shoulders. When you got the dog bowl on the ground like we've always had, they're bending over, and that's what's messing with the shoulders and all of that. Now that's another thing I'll say. I don't like if they got an A-frame chest. I don't deal with that. They gotta have an H-frame at least. The A-frame, I can't deal with that. It's gonna be some joints and stuff. I'm trying to breed. So in order to breed, we're gonna go a long ways with this. And I don't want to start off messed up. So I guess there's 2 or 3 that I just won't deal with, period. But the rest, if it's 2 or less flaws, you can manage it. You manage it in the next breeding. You cannot double up on it. That means if you got one with high rear, you can't go to another one with a high rear. She got to just about have a perfect rear the next one you go to. And I said good structure, period, because if you got one with bad structure, you want to go to another dog that's just about perfect. Now you're going to have a real good litter. You know you're going to have at least half of them is going to be pretty good. But that's the thing about buying from breeders, because they've already done all of that sorting and picking and choosing, and you can go back through the pictures and see that it's been consistent, and then you'll know that's what you're getting, and you won't have a bunch of stuff to try to weed out. So when you get through messing around with them, weeding out problems, come on off the bench for the big win, man. Get you something hard cut. So